All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn football, go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel, War Eagle. Now, as it turns out, Auburn is headed into the A-Day game. This will be, like we talked about in the video before, the first A-Day game under Brian Harsin, brand new coach from Boise State. Had a lot of success out there. I think a signature win for him, at least one that I saw, was the comeback from behind win against Florida State down at Doak Campbell Stadium. First time around, he's got a star-studded, somewhat coaching staff, which includes two former head coaches, Mike Bobo and Derek Mason, and a lot of NFL experience as well, with Nick Eason and some of the other guys that he's able to have there. Zach Etheridge is actually on the squad coaching-wise, as is Carnell Williams, former Auburn great at running back, who ironically and not surprisingly is Auburn's running back coach. What do you guys think about the 3-4 defense? I kind of like it. The reason why I like it is because half the guys on the team actually played this type of offense in high school. Defense in high school, and that's why they were successful in high school in this particular set. One guy that I'm really excited about is Owen Pappoe, who I think, this could be a really good breakout season for him. I think, looking at the first 2 years at Auburn, he did some great things, was great in some spots, but I think he was out of his element, and, needing to get back to some level of familiarity as to what, his true talent and true skill set dictated. A lot of other guys on this particular team are accustomed to the 3-4 defense, most notably Kobe Wooten, who's actually put on a little weight. Man, I remember actually meeting Kobe Wooten in person, and I thought he was going to Auburn when he had on the Auburn gear when he came in my establishment, and I thought he was actually going to Auburn to play basketball. The guy was super slender, but now you're talking about a guy that's pushing his same height as 6'4", and possibly pushing around 280 to 290 pounds going into this fall. I think he's about 270, between like 270, 275 right now. And we're going to see how that progresses as well. But I'm really excited about the 3-4. I want to see how this thing looks in the A-Day game. You still talk about a nice level of diverse talent at the linebacker position. Auburn actually able to pick up on Dylan Brooks from not Stanhope Elmore, but from, I forgot where, Roanoke, Alabama. Went to Handley High School, down deep in the woods, man. They went and found him a diamond in the rough in the woods. Actually committed originally to Tennessee, but found a nice home down at Auburn, where he was on the fence as to whether he was going to go to Auburn in the first place. So now we're looking at a situation where, I think Derek Mason is going to have some options. I know you guys remember the famous 3-1-7 defense that Kevin Steele was a very signature mark of his career, because you had a situation where LSU obviously was one of the best offenses in the country, and a lot of folks was wondering, well, how is Auburn going to figure this out? But Auburn pulled this 3-1-7 defense off like a lot of other schools tried to against LSU. But the reason why Auburn was so successful is the reason that they have the possibility to be successful now. They have diverse skill sets. Now, I understand. I get it. I get the whole 5-star thing. But when you have diversity in skill sets, those stars start to kind of cancel themselves out when you can do some stuff like, say, pull Jamie and Sherwood in, say, a somewhat pseudo linebacker position, or you can sneak Smoke Monday up, or you can move Owen Pappoe around to cover the edge. Like, when you can have those diverse skill sets and bring some guys off the bench, maybe even to help out because of their skill set, that's what you could be looking at. Because I look at what Auburn has now, even with the linebackers. Owen Pappoe, Zacoby McClain, Chandler Wooten, and then you got Wesley Steiner, who is coming along, and a couple of other guys who will emerge as possible options, to where when Auburn has to get a little diverse, when they have to play teams like Mississippi State with the air raid, or they have to play teams like Ole Miss, They have to diversify some things. But if you only have a group of guys that have one level of skill set, and yeah, they might be 5-star, but the hip movement is not there, or the range might not be as there as it needs to be in this particular football game. I want you guys to look at this. And I want you to look at the past few classes for Auburn defensive-wise, where they have it and starting to have an overlapping talent that people, I think, are sleeping on. Let me know what you think about this video. Auburn playing in the A-Day game this coming weekend. Defense, I'm very excited about. That is the position that I played in high school. Did not have the opportunity to play in college. For one, it's hard work. That's why I try not to badmouth these kids so bad, because most of us listening to this just don't got it to play on that gridiron, and especially Power 5. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart for the podcast Talking Auburn Football. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger. War Eagle.